What's up, Taiwan? I'm Liao with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan's President Lai has promised to offer more support to the Marshall Islands. It comes as he continues a historic trip to some of Taiwan's few remaining allies. Liao reports from the country's capital of Majuro.
This is the biggest hospital in the Marshall Islands. Access to healthcare isn't easy on these atolls in the far Pacific. But with help from Taiwan, this new high-tech centre aims to tackle the country's leading health issue, diabetes, connecting patients here remotely with Taiwanese doctors thousands of kilometres away. And Taiwan's President Lai has come to inaugurate this personally, part of his efforts to boost Taiwan's presence in this region.
1, 2, 3, cut!
这个中心将成为智慧医疗的示范点。这些计划都是台湾诚心诚意 跟马绍群岛各界共同落实对人民的照顾。
Less than 50,000 people live across these 20 atolls. And despite the distance, the Marshall Islands is an important ally for Taiwan, one of only a dozen countries to officially recognize the Taipei government. Hoping to keep that number from dwindling further, President Lai is on a week-long charm offensive across the Pacific. A sensitive trip, given China's claims of sovereignty over Taiwan. Any country that engages with the self-ruled island nation risks Beijing's disapproval, especially if, like the Marshalls, it hosts Taiwan's leader. The Marshall Islands has one of the smallest parliaments in the world, with just 30 lawmakers sitting in this chamber. But they're offering an enthusiastic welcome to Taiwan's President Lai Ching-te. Official relations between the two countries are now in their 26th year, and the two allies are looking to enhance cooperation in areas like healthcare, climate change resilience, and maritime security. Lai pledged to help the Marshall Islands get more aircraft to patrol its waters, and will help construct a new parliament building. Though Taiwan has unofficial friends like the US to provide it with weapons to defend itself from outside threats, it's official allies like the Marshall Islands that help represent Taiwan on the world stage.
The Pacific has been an area of contention between the People's Republic of China, the United States, Australia, and so on, and Taiwan, given that it has its deeply embedded interests in working with the US and Australia in the Pacific. It probably wants to shore up those relationships. In addition, what these countries that officially recognize Taiwan do for Taiwan at the United Nations is to raise up the issue of Taiwan in Taiwan's terms at the UN, so that it's part of the official record.
In the last 5 years, China has persuaded 3 of Taiwan's allies in the Pacific to switch diplomatic ties to Beijing. But for now, at least, many here say they have more in common with democracies like Taiwan than autocratic China.
Your state visit also signifies a bilateral relationship that is mature, one that has withstood the test of time, and one that I'm confident will continue to grow and become stronger in the years to come.
And that's the message from these allied leaders, that no matter the distance between their countries, they're stronger together. Through existential threats like an outside force, health crises like diabetes, or climate change and rising sea levels lapping at their nation's fragile shores. John Su and Liao in Majuro, the Marshall Islands, for TaiwanPlus.
Exchanges with a Chinese student delegation visiting Taiwan are in their 7th day, but tensions have risen after one of the students on the trip referred to Taiwan as China Taipei. Chelsea Wu reports.
Students from National Taiwan University in Taipei welcome a visiting Chinese student delegation, not with greetings, but with protests. It comes after one of the visiting Chinese students referred to Taiwan's national baseball team as China Taipei after its recent win at the Premier 12 Championship.
向中国台北队获得世界冠军表示祝贺，希望就是大陆和台湾同胞可以像这个中信兄弟你们 brothers 一样。
Taiwan competes under the name Chinese Taipei due to pressure from China, but calling the team China Taipei has raised eyebrows here in Taiwan. It's a difference of a single Chinese character, but one that could be seen to emphasize China's sovereignty claim. The foundation, run by former Taiwan President Ma Ying-jeou, which organized the exchange, says Taiwan's democratic values allow for freedom of speech, and that the student had no ill intent. The foundation's president also said the exchange is meant to foster communication between the two sides, but some in Taiwan are hindering progress.
一直祭出禁团令，也用橙色警戒恐吓国人到大陆去哦，我真的觉得这个是可以要调整的。
But the students' comment has sparked broader fears that the exchange is part of China's United Front tactics.
你看他当然是故意讲啊，收邀请一定有客套，而且搞不好是彩排好的。
It also comes after criticism from some Taiwanese legislators that many of the students on the trip are affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party and could be using the exchange to spread Beijing's propaganda. While many in Taiwan and China seek open dialogue, the students' comment, and the backlash from it, serves as a reminder of the sensitivities around Taiwan's identity. Ethan Pan and Chelsea Wu for TaiwanPlus.
China is warning Lithuania of countermeasures after the expulsion of 3 Chinese diplomats. Lithuania has not given a full explanation, but its ties with China are tense. China has been angry with Lithuania since 2021 for allowing Taiwan to set up a de facto embassy in the country, even using the word Taiwan in its official name. Relations worsened after a Chinese ship was suspected of cutting an undersea cable linking Lithuania and Sweden. Despite its warning, China also says it hopes relations with Lithuania will improve.
中方希望立陶宛新政府以实际行动恪守两国建交公报中所作政治承诺，坚持一个中国原则，推动双边关系重回正轨。
Any improvement could take time as Lithuania, Sweden, and Finland begin an EU-backed probe into the cutting of the undersea cable. Taiwanese politician Huang has made the BBC's 2024 list of the world's 100 most influential women. Huang is known for promoting gender equality. She made history this January when she was elected to Taiwan's legislature, becoming the country's first openly LGBTQ lawmaker. Throughout her career, she has advocated for legal reforms such as fighting for the right of single women and lesbian couples to access fertility treatment and for laws to address the affordability of menstrual products. Politicians and activists are standing in support of Taiwan's death penalty on the anniversary of a murder that shocked the nation. They argue capital punishment is crucial for families of victims to find justice. Wesley Lewis reports.
Hundreds of people are here right in front of the presidential office in Taipei to make it known they stand against the abolition of the death penalty. The demonstration falls on the 10th anniversary of the violent assault and murder of a female school teacher in southern Taiwan that shocked the nation. The case resulted in the assailant receiving a life sentence. Protesters here include families of victims, politicians, and other supporters of the death penalty. They say preserving the capital punishment is the answer to, quote, make Taiwan safe again.
要给加害人一个机会，让他反省、检讨，可以执行死刑之后，让加害人被执行死刑之后到地下去悔改，对不对？对，这是最起码的公道，否则我们的法治会崩解。
Here, demonstrators are holding white flowers and wearing white clothes to commemorate the murder of the school teacher. This September, a legal challenge brought forward by the 37 inmates currently on death row resulted in a new ruling by the country's constitutional court that upheld the punishment but put limits on the use of the death penalty to only be used for the most severe premeditated murders. But protesters here continue to take a stand, calling for more robust protections of the death penalty, urging lawmakers to safeguard what they say will ensure justice in Taiwanese society. Joseph Wu and Wesley Lewis in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's college football world has been rocked by news of a scandal involving students being forced to give blood for government-funded sports research. A former student says the coach of a women's university football team threatened athletes who refused to participate in the experiment, saying they would lose academic credits and be kicked from the team. Legislator Chen Pei-yu says the school made students sign consent forms after their blood had already been drawn. The school has suspended the coach and begun investigating the incident. Taiwan will soon receive 38 U.S.-made tanks, the first batch in a more than $1.2 billion deal Taiwan made with the U.S. back in 2019. But as Cadence Quaranta reports, the Defense Ministry here in Taipei is staying quiet about their delivery.
The first batch of tanks Taiwan's army has acquired from abroad in 30 years have reportedly arrived on Taiwan's shores. But the Defense Ministry is staying tight-lipped, this morning only confirming that the first batch of tanks would arrive by the end of this year.
抵岸之前，它的整体作业程序是列为机密的，所以我们不会对外去做说。
In 2019, the military bought American M1 Abrams tanks, one of the most advanced battle tanks in the world. They were supposed to be delivered by 2022, but were delayed. The Defense Ministry now says 38 tanks will be arriving within the next few weeks. The ministry says 42 more tanks will arrive next year, and 28 will arrive in 2026. Taiwan bought 108 in total, spending about $1.24 billion US. The whole contract is supposed to be finalized by 2027. Local media is reporting that the tanks will be positioned around the north of Taiwan and will be used to bolster the country's ground forces. Howard Zhang, Adil Brar, and Cadence Quaranta for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan is promoting its space prowess at an international space expo in the southern city of Kaohsiung. The country not only wants to promote its role in space supply chains, but also develop critical capabilities during disasters. Chris Gorin reports.
Taiwan is shooting for the stars with its nascent space program, and nowhere is that more apparent than here at this international space exhibition in Kaohsiung in the country's south. It's only the second time that Taiwan Space Agency, TASA, has hosted the conference since the country began heavily investing in its space program, and they're looking to do more.
Taiwan has a supply chain for communication satellite, including space and the ground segment, and also we hope we can build the supply chain for optical remote sensing satellite.
Right now, Taiwan's space aspirations are also about bringing connections down to Earth. So far, Taiwan's homegrown satellites like these are used primarily to gather data about the weather. But in the coming years, the country has another goal: making sure that its soldiers and civilians have access to the internet in a crisis, using terminals like these. Low Earth orbit communication satellites provide users with direct data access from space, ensuring connectivity even if ground towers are damaged during natural disasters or conflicts. It's often compared to SpaceX's Starlink system, which has played a vital role in maintaining Ukraine's connectivity during Russia's invasion of the country.
Actually, as you guys know, Taiwan is an island, and most of our traffic goes through the submarine cable, and all goes through the fixed line in Taiwan locally. And satellite communication is quite vital for us, just in case if there's any cut for the submarine cable or any cut in the fixed line in Taiwan. So SATCOM is like the final option of all the communication.
Taiwan wants to keep most of the system in-house, hoping 80% of it will be produced domestically. The first of 6 initial communication satellites is scheduled to be launched in 2027. Taiwan wants not only to develop its domestic space program, but also to be a critical partner in global space supply chains, capitalizing on its capabilities in hardware manufacturing. If those efforts succeed, Taiwan and its whole space industry could be taken to a new frontier. Devin Tsai, Alec McDonald, and Chris Gorin for TaiwanPlus.
And thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, here's U.S. First Lady Jill Biden unveiling the White House's holiday decorations for this year with the theme A Season of Peace and Light. I'm Leslie Liao. Take care and see you next time.
For more stories from Taiwan and around the world, download the TaiwanPlus app.